Coming to you once again from the Illegal Shift Studios, it is another spectacular episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Carroll. There we go. See, that's how you do it. Andrew Pappas to my right.
Hold on a second. Wait.
Open your, what do you call that? Mint water?
Hint water.
Hint.
Wait. It's not even carb.
Just a hint of hydration. And Jason Kiefer is here. And we got, do we have a lot to talk about today?
I actually have a ton of shit that Andrew sent me. Andrew sent me something that I'm actually excited about, which was a little bit out of character. Out of character coming out of him.
During daylight hours?
Yes.
What do we want to start with today?
He shocked me.
Was it Mike Tyson's butt?
Maybe one of the things I saw that surprised me most was on Barstool Sports earlier today. Was they were suggesting that the Bengals head coach, our head coach here in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor, may be on the hot seat. I mean, they suck this year.
I think he should be.
He should be, but whoever wrote that article does not have any familiarity with the way the Browns do business.
Correct.
And firing head coaches mid-season
is not
part of their game plan.
That is not one of them.
Yeah. So I just want to clear that up right now.
I think they're a really great team that's just like one play away from being spectacular.
Oh, for God's sake!
No, I actually
sound like you're doing the post-game press conference.
I actually agree with that, though, and the fact that they're in it, they can't finish, and the play calling is fucking atrocious.
The game is 60 minutes long. You got to play the entire game. I'm tired of hearing about how great Joe Burrow is. I'm tired of hearing about how great
he's leading the fucking league in fucking yards, touchdowns.
I got to sit here through this.
You got to win games.
And when you have
Dude is getting 270 freaking man. Well, they haven't even started paying that yet.
He's putting his shit up. It's the fucking play calling by Zach Taylor.
That's what I'm saying. It's a team effort.
So the players,
the quarterback
outside
by
of
himself
defense
does not win games.
Outside of our defense is fucking terrible.
I think
those guys get paid millions.
I think
upon million. They got to. I mean,
I think they'd play better if they had a new stadium.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh shit!
Haven't we been down this road?
This is just too easy.
Yeah, we have.
Everybody in Cincinnati is just groaning right now.
Where were you on that, by the way, when the whole stadium thing was going on?
Look, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure out it was a bad deal. Even so, me with my limited mental capacity figured out that was a bad deal. And then I'll say this, no disrespect to anyone involved, but when you have a proponent for something or somebody that's in a very key how would I say this politically speaking? When you have somebody that's integrally involved, then when they get out of office, then go work for the very organization that they voted on that benefited from one of your votes. I find that kind of just didn't rub me right. So I had a problem with that.
Whatever happened to Mike Bangelhouse?
Oh my God! What
the fuck?
What the fuck?
He's still around. I just don't know what he's doing. But it's just
you two are you're like a fucking kitten with a ball of fucking yarn. You're like,
what? I'm just asking. Whatever happened to that guy?
Who cares? Guess what? If you have to ask,
well, I called him Mike. His actual name was Bob.
If you have to ask, who cares?
Bob Bangelhouse.
I think that they're really. I feel actually, to be honest with you, if you look at, did you watch the whole game?
What, on Sunday night?
Yeah.
Yes.
You stayed up that late?
And I went to work at 4:30 in the morning.
Jeez, you must have been sharp as a tack.
My show, thanks for listening to my show.
Not up at 4:30.
But it was awesome.
Was it?
It was a great show.
I'll podcast it if you ever send me the link correctly.
5 to 9 a.m.
Okay, I'll have to look on the page. It's
5 to 9 a.m.
Why can't they fix that?
Fix what?
So I can just go and see your podcast really quick.
I'm not in charge of that. That's
okay. It sounds like you're passing the buck.
I'm not in charge of that.
Well,
weird.
Get in charge of it.
I don't want to be in charge of that.
I feel like you should be.
The less Jason can vouch for this.
I love the fact that two of these guys are like a late period. It's a relief that when they
the less I have to do with computers and the internet, the better off I am.
That's a fucking fact.
What are you talking about? You can't do your show without your machine.
I know. I am very limited.
My show prep is, you know where it is, baby? Here.
Right there.
Yeah. Right.
Here's my show prep right there. I copy links I put them in an email, and I email them to myself. So there's all my show prep right there.
Did you
so
address it? Did you say self?
I can click on any of these links, and I can go to an interesting story.
It's like a daily diary. Dear Dan,
that our listeners will be interested in seeing.
Dear future,
did you send any of those to me?
Hey, Jason,
I didn't have time. I was with our buddy Randy Corbett. Corbett Graphics, by the way, made our banner.
It's a big fat
for all your graphic needs.
Jason,
CorbettGraphics.com.
I can see this. Dear future Dan,
you're good enough. You're smart enough, and doggone it, people like.
Damn, you look good today. You're on fire.
You know what? I see those things all the time. About if you could go back and tell your future self.
We're getting deep now. Here we go.
If you could tell your future self something.
God, I feel like
what would it be?
I feel like it's back to like.
Oh, I've got some good advice, but I'm not saying on the air. No way.
The answer I have for that is if I could go back to say my 15 or 16 or 17-year-old self.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I would say, listen, you stupid fuck, write this down.
Buy Apple.
I would say buy Bitcoin the first moment you hear about it.
Right.
I mean, when Bitcoin came out, it was what? A 10 for $1?
How in the fuck did we get here?
Now something like that.
It's gone from a psychological show.
It hit $90,000.
Sports, psychology, and finance all in one show.
$90,000 on Monday.
I know. You want to buy it?
I would if I would have bought it.
Okay, if my grandmother would have had nads, she'd have been my grandfather.
I know. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's useless. I'll tell you
if I could go back and tell my future self something, then I would have said, make sure you got $1,000 socked away. The very minute you hear about Bitcoin, buy as much as you possibly can.
You'd be sitting pretty right now.
Oh my God. I wouldn't be doing the One More I'm Out of Here podcast.
Why not? It'd be a hobby.
I'd be doing it from a beach somewhere.
Oh, he'd big time us.
There's Dan on his private beach.
You'd be living in one of those houses down there by Coldstream, just kicking back.
Yeah,
hitting golf balls over the Ohio River.
Oh man,
be great.
Let's
all right. So there you go. There's our preamble for today.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I feel like literally back where we were.
But I do have some good news today.
Oh, do you?
Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. Miss Universe has been crowned.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, show her the picture. Did you show her a picture?
No, because you didn't send me anything.
Oh, she's a woman.
Blonde hair, blue eye. Yeah,
she's a woman.
And an actual real life woman. Has won Miss Universe.
Show Jason the picture.
I don't have it on this. Well, I don't have it on this one.
Well, then you forwarded yourself the wrong thing.
No, well, I mean this for what some
so
reason.
All we have to look at is Mike Tyson's butt.
Well, that's the difference between me and Pappas. Pappas came in here talking about seeing Mike Tyson's butt. I came in here talking about
the high point of the fight. We talked about the fight last time, and we made some predictions going out of here. And Dan, you and I were completely and utterly wrong.
Well,
and Andrew actually sent me links, like a bunch of them.
Thank you.
Do you want me to send you links?
Yes.
All right.
As per usual.
Dear future Jason.
So that way, when you want to throw an article, I can throw it up. But whatever.
But this article doesn't have a picture. That's why I didn't send the link.
What? Oh, you didn't send me a single.
Hey, listen,
very attractive.
I can vouch for this. She's a woman. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
There's no doubt. She's a woman.
Well, yeah, because all the
things.
Things out there are upset that they let a woman actually win a beauty contest.
Well, it's funny that you bring up a woman winning a beauty contest the same day
natural-born female
that one of our Congress women has to push for a rule in Congress that no men allowed in the women's bathroom up in Congress because I think it was Massachusetts elected a transgender representative.
Yeah, that's Nancy Mace, who, by the way, I would say Nancy Mace is definitely top 10.
Oh, yeah, I know where you're
when
going.
It comes to women in Congress.
Yes,
on the hotness scale.
Yes, she's very attractive.
I agree.
Yeah, now, I didn't know. I heard her presser today. I did not know she was a victim of sexual assault. Did you know that?
I think I did know that,
and so that's why she's pushing. She does not.
She doesn't want some dude bumping around the women's bathroom.
She does not want a penis in the restaurant.
She don't want anywhere near.
And I can't say that I blame her.
I don't blame her at all.
There
although
right there, Mike Johnson took steps today.
Mike Johnson supports it, which is very good.
Which is rare for another. Usually sometimes politicians like to waffle. I respect the fact that he took a position.
Yeah. No, I'm very glad Nancy Mace did that.
Yeah, I did too. I am too. Look, I have empathy for people that have that. I'm going to put it as, gender. What would the word be, Jason? Gender confusion, whatever that word might be. But let me tell you something. There's steps that can be taken to protect them, having an extra restroom or whatever. But the disrespect and the and really the peril that you put biological women in by just saying, "Oh, they're women, let them in the bathrooms and the locker rooms," and that's horseshit. I mean, I think it's just horseshit, and I don't think it's fair that they have to compete against girls in sports. There was a local, there's a girl, a university. I didn't send you this. Sorry, Jason, I didn't send you the story, but she's suing her school because they're allowing a male to play on the girls' team, and so she said, "Nuh-uh, I'm suing them," her own school. And the girl, remember the girl, we showed the video. Remember the girl that got hit with the volleyball in the face?
Oh, yeah. And that whole volleyball team said, we're going to pull out of the tournament.
It was like 110 miles an hour right to the face.
Right to the dome.
Right to the kisser.
Oh, that is.
No, and we covered that where.
Go back up.
Where they did.
Yeah.
You should have sent me some things.
That's Nancy Mace in action right
You're
there.
An idiot.
She looks like she's working very hard. She's definitely a good representative.
So, and by the way, she had one of the greatest lines ever a couple of years ago. She was a speaker every year on on Capitol Hill. They have a once a year they have a prayer breakfast, and so she was scheduled to speak at the prayer breakfast, and she got there a little bit late, and I don't know why she told this funny anecdote prior to her speech, but she said, "Yeah, I realized I was late, and my boyfriend rolled over and grabbed me, pulled me back in the bed, and she's like, I gotta go."
Oh my god!
So that's the story she told at a prayer
breakfast.
At a girl. Wow. At a girl. Honesty is key.
Where's she from? You know where she's from?
She's representative from North Carolina, isn't she?
Way to go. Wherever she's from. Hey, here's to you guys.
Yeah.
We got.
I'm sorry, South Carolina.
Well, that's fine.
I got shit to do.
Nancy Mace, Republican, South Carolina.
We got to quit banging it out. I got a goddamn prayer breakfast to get to.
That's pretty much what she said.
There's a joke in there, and I'm not even going to touch it.
She's like, hold that thought. I got to do this thing, and I'll be right back.
I'm not going to touch it.
Well, she's like, I look so good in the morning. He wanted to bang me again, but I said, I got to do this thing. That's pretty much what she said.
Maybe she was cooking him breakfast.
Yeah, that's not what was happening. Something was cooking.
Making huevos.
She's the one who said it, not me.
Let's get on to.
You gotta love the honesty.
Look at the person she's concerned about.
Oh Jesus!
You want me to send you this thing?
No, it's you already talked
now. We talked
on the left hand side of your screen is not a woman. On the right hand side of your screen is a woman.
You know what?
It's hard to tell.
You know who
that was going to do the prayer breakfast too. It was like, get over here, get back.
You know who'd be interested in that story? You know who should read that story? Our local school board member, Jason Simmons. He's pretty concerned about this stuff, but he's on the other side of the issue.
Correct.
Has he done anything despicable lately?
He just has some. I mean, I don't know. Despicable, I'd say concerning. His comments at school board meetings are concerning, and his preoccupation with one subject matter is fairly.
Is he still beating that drum?
Oh,
that he wants to bring the porn into the schools.
He's beating the drum. If it's a way to say it, I guess. Beating something. It's just a one. It's a one trick pony. I mean, that's his. And the funny thing of all about that, to segue into local politics and school board politics, is a national.
Well, it didn't even segue. You just took it and went there.
It did because it was related. Shut up. But I mean, here's the deal. He didn't mention any of that when he was running. It wasn't even a campaign issue. But once he got in there, boy, you want to talk about deception. That's his sole issue. So whatever, people voted for it. Enjoy. You get what you vote for, folks. That's why it's really important coming up next time. The past election obviously is done now.
Well, you sent me the video of that school board meeting, and I watched the entire thing.
Right. Well,
looking for the comments where and I didn't realize it was almost
at the end.
To the very end of that hour-plus long video.
I probably could have told you that.
Yeah.
But you didn't because
I'm like scanning.
Like, why did he send me this?
And I'm like, finally, here it is.
I think I probably.
But he still brings this up every school board.
Pretty
meeting?
Pretty much.
Haven't the other members already said?
Well, that's
not going to happen.
No, he has an ally in Wendy Biederman, so she's his ally. That's the other Democrat on the board, and then the 3 Republicans or 3 conservatives, ish. Well, they're dead set against it. But we have elections coming up here in a year, and so those 3 people will be up for re-election.
All right,
well, maybe I don't know who's running, to be honest with you, but it starts now. We're done with the election. It's like you work through elections and you feel like, oh, good, I can take a break. Next election starts today.
That's a fact.
Can we get to maybe what the title of this fucking podcast is?
Yeah, where's that picture again?
Is the fact that the administration's gearing up, getting all their shit in line, and hopefully get confirmations. Which I was on a podcast last night, and some confirmations are probably not going to go through. You'd be silly to think that every one of them is going to go through. But talked about this fella and this fucking
Tom Homan.
The fact that the Boston mayor,
it's a great video,
wants to say, yeah, we're just not going to do that. We're just not going to do it.
Not just him. Lots of governors and mayors lining
up. It's Michelle Wu, the
right.
Boston mayor.
Right.
You sent me this.
I know. That's a link.
No, there's a ton. There's a ton.
Show Dan what a link looks like.
Isn't Michelle Wu the one who said white people aren't invited to our
yes.
I know she didn't have a Christmas party, but I guess her holiday party or her.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually covered that when it happened.
Yes.
That bitch.
That bitch.
Defending our residents every possible way. Well, she's not very smart. I'll give her that, because what I just said is President Trump's going to prioritize public safety threats. What mayor or governor doesn't want public safety threats out of their communities? I mean, that's her number one responsibility, is protect their communities, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So she helps us. She gets the hell out of the way, because we're going to do it. And look, there's a clear line here, and they can't cross a clear line. I would suggest she read Title 8, United States Code 1324 III. That says, you can't harbor or conceal an illegal alien from front of law enforcement. So I hope she don't cross that line. They can not cooperate, but there are certain laws in place that they can't cross, and I hope she doesn't cross it. But
I love that.
Defending our residents every possible way.
No, I love that, in the fact that just like the video we played, our last show, we're going to do our job. You can try to stand in the way as much as you want, but there's going to be repercussions.
Yeah, Tom Homan is great. Tom Homan, Homan is unbelievably committed to what he is doing.
Qualified, committed.
He tells a story about how he's, and I think we touched on this on our last podcast. He's looked into the eyes of a 9, 10, or 11-year-old girl that's been raped and abused on the way to cross into the United States. He's held dying children in his arms. He's seen what the cartels do to people who don't pay their money on time or who get out of line. I mean, there's nothing humanitarian about having a wide open border.
Nope.
And creating all the suffering and human misery that comes along with it. Yeah. There's no way for any libtard who thinks it's a good idea to have an open border to claim the moral high ground on that.
That's right.
It is simply not happening.
Nope.
So Tom Homan is right. Richard K. Jones, the sheriff in Butler County, one county north of where we're sitting right now, has said that he's going to do his part to round up illegals. He's going to cooperate and work hand in hand.
Unlike
Hamilton, with ICE,
unlike Hamilton County's sheriff,
which is something that Jones has pushed throughout the last 4 years, and even when Trump was in, he was like, "I'm not allowing him." Like right. he was a stalwart in the beginning. Like he literally pushed his agenda out there, put it on MSNBC, CNN, Fox. He didn't care what the agenda was of the news network. Here's what we're doing in Butler County.
Right.
And
like it or not.
Yes, exactly. Like it or not.
And if you don't like it, unelect me. But guess what? Keeps getting reelected. So
Damn
the people
straight.
there,
absolutely.
the people there like it. and what I've heard in Hamilton County, and I don't have any reason to believe it's changed. They don't notify ICE only upon release of the inmate that
Correct.
they notify ICE. So the guy's like gone, or the person is gone. So that's a problem. But hey, like I said earlier, elections have consequences. You get what you vote for.
Yeah, I got another one that Andrew sent me. That
was a link.
Yeah,
oh, damn, weird. That's a link.
Was Brandon Judd, former president of the National Border Patrol Council. Brandon, great to see you. Again, Democrats used to be in favor of border enforcement and understood what illegal immigration did to the United States. But now it's just all bets are off, unless it's the border of Ukraine we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's the politics. And when you play with the security of the American people, you're going to get pushback. And that's why we saw an overwhelming vote for President Trump. We saw that in 2016. He secured the border, and then all of a sudden people forgot about that. Now we're back to this year, and we just saw the American people say that they want safety and security in this country. And that starts with border security. That starts with keeping the fentanyl out. That starts with keeping the criminal aliens out. That starts with ensuring that we're able to actually remove people back to where they came from, rather than releasing them into the United States and hoping that they're one day going to show up to a court appearance. That just doesn't work. It's been proven. And that's what this president has done, and he's going to be able to do it again.
Well, the resistance in Illinois and a potential Democrat run for president in 2028, J.B. Pritzker, says that the National Guard, no, he's not going to allow this in his state. Watch.
There's been some talk about using other states' National Guard, red state National Guards to somehow come into a blue state and try and enforce these new Stephen Miller-inspired rules. And that's just not something we're going to accept.
They're not going to accept federal supremacy on the issue of immigration? Wow.
Yeah, he can't do that. He knows he can't do that. Those are talking points. Look, Laura, behind the scenes, he's going to work with this administration because he has to. If he doesn't, there will be federal aid that will be withheld from him. President Trump has proven that he's able to get people that have pushed back, like Mexico.
I play that in the fact that he knows he's going to miss federal aid. Trump has straight up said, you're going to get a zero.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck around and find out and see how that works out for you.
Well, I'd like to see what Cincinnati does, because as we both know, Cincinnati is a sanctuary city.
Thank you, John Cranley. Not.
I was there at that meeting.
You were?
Yeah.
When
I was the only one. I was
city?
the only one that I was the only public official that showed up and spoke. And I addressed the council, and I said, what a joke of what they're doing and how they're making a big mistake. And they did it. Not that they, those aren't my people, but they did it anyway. And so I'd be interesting to see what happens with the sheriff with her,
Charmaine McGuffey.
Yeah, her.
That sheriff.
Yes. So I'm just wondering what's going to happen with that, if they might risk losing federal funds under a Trump administration. So let's listen. We saw what happened. Yesterday there was testimony in the Laken Riley case down in Georgia that was just heart-wrenching. How the roommate of the accused killer, his roommate, said how the federal government flew them wherever they wanted to go.
Humanitarian flight from New York City to Atlanta.
Right.
Humanitarian.
So flew them there, and then
courtesy of you,
right,
you, everyone else watching us right now.
And then
if you're
played,
a taxpayer,
and then they played, and I thought I sent Jason the link, but you don't have to play it. But he played he challenged that one of the people there. I think it was Tom Homan, challenged them to listen to Laken Riley's phone call. Her 911 call. And she's pleading for her life. And this dirtbag comes into this country and, murders her, when if there was cooperation with ICE, wouldn't even be here. Or if we had a strong border, he wouldn't even be here. See what I'm saying? Trump administration.
Hadn't this guy already been deported 2 or 3 times before? Maybe more than that? And then this Trump, administration bent over backwards to make sure he could be back in the country.
To Atlanta to murder their, an American citizen. And I'll tell you this. Trump's not going to do that shit. The flights end.
That's not
But we don't, you
It's not
very
happening.
rarely do you hear the people talking about the night, a lot of people say, oh, that didn't happen. I'm sure some of our listeners might be like, oh, they didn't really fly people around. No, they did. They flew them around, gave them credit cards and gave them cell phones.
They're still doing it.
Yeah. Well, they're doing a lot of things before January 20th. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
And that's concerning. And one of them deals with, what the story Dan had up. This is probably the story of the day that happened last night, that for some reason Joe Biden decided to give the Ukrainians permission to fire at Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Our missiles, made in the good old US of A, are longer range missiles from Ukraine into Russia. And I got to ask you a question. I'll ask both of you this. If the United States was in a conflict with Canada, let's say that for some reason Justin Trudeau got pissed off because we called him Castro's bastard, and and he launched an attack, and we had a shooting war with Canada, right? And Russia came along. How would the United States react if Russia gave Canada missiles they did not possess that were able to strike deep in the United States? How would we react? Seriously, we'd be pissed.
Yeah, I would hope we turn everything that we have
right
that
so
direction
it could
and
very easily
just hit the button.
Right, and be very easily escalate into a war nobody wants. And that's exactly what happened last night, is that Joe Biden, or the people running the government in his place, decided that they were going to give the green light to Ukraine, because I think they know that they only have a short window for them to screw around.
Exactly.
And they're going to try to start, I don't know what the end game here is, but they're striking targets deep in Russia. And Vladimir Putin, not a guy that, you probably want to play pinochle with, is not going to take that shit.
Well, and they don't have to deal with any of the repercussions. They made the call. Guess what? January Trump comes in. He's got to clean it up.
Right, you clean it up.
Which I think is horseshit. And the fact that how, and correct me if I'm wrong, did Congress approve any of this? Because any act of war, quote unquote, and we're not declaring war.
Well, if you think the Ukrainians are firing those missiles on their own, you're out of your mind. There's
exactly.
There's American.
Yes.
There's American operatives there shooting those missiles.
Yeah, we've had
that's been documented.
People on the ground for a long time now.
Yes.
Right. So, the argument by a lot of people that are like, oh, this is good for the economy, is, well, we're not actually which is false. We're not giving Ukraine money and then they're buying the weapons. We're just giving the money to the contractors to send them the weapons, so all the money kind of stays here. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. But yeah, I'm concerned about it. I think everybody with a pulse should be, dreadfully concerned about this escalation.
Well, there is some money that's going over there, not all of it.
Not all of it.
The vast majority stays here with the contractors here. But the money that is going there gets
wasted.
chiseled by Zelensky and by his higher ups, and they're buying.
You saw Zelensky's wife, right?
Yeah.
Her shopping spree.
Oh, yeah, courtesy of American taxpayers.
But hey, man, listen, I'll tell you, I
want some new shit.
I don't get it how this isn't a bigger story. We're
well, it's not bigger because Russian air defenses said they shot down 5 of the missiles. Another was damaged, and fragments from the missile fell on the territory of a military facility, causing a fire. So there were no casualties, no damage. Now, if that part of the story had been different, then we might be seeing a different response today.
Okay, but they have more missiles, so they're going to shoot them again. Yeah. And what if one gets through? I mean, they shouldn't have to be shooting down our missiles over Russia.
But it was Joe Biden who approved the use of the what's called the Army Tactical Missile System, while
he was lost wandering in the Amazon jungle. Yeah. If you've seen that video, I mean, the guy just did you see that?
He just kind of wanders off, and they're like, I don't know
motherfucker can't walk in sand. He can't walk in a jungle. He can't walk anywhere.
He puts his hand in his pocket. He wanders off, and they're like, there he goes.
And his wife leaves him.
Is he going to be okay? I don't give a fuck. He didn't win the election. Who gives a shit?
Right. At this point, yeah. Complete lame duck. Here we are. We just gotta keep him alive. It's what they're essentially the Secret Service doing. It's like, fuck, we just gotta keep him alive. Yeah. Couple more weeks, we're fine.
Couple more weeks.
But maybe the only reason that this has not escalated yet, and it's still, I mean, we're only 24 hours away from
is because Trump's coming in
from this event taking place, is that Putin knows that he'll have to be dealing with Trump in a short span of time.
And this is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. We've already heard, China has cooled its jets a little bit. Russia has cooled its jets a little bit.
And then we turn the heat up.
Right. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
great move.
It's like a Bengals defensive game plan.
Hey, how about that bingo game?
How about that? Here, I want to play this video you sent me because we were talking about the fucking illegals. And the people of Chicago, I gotta find it. There it is. Like the people of Chicago are fucking jacked. They're fucking pissed, and they're not happy.
And they're pissed at their mayor,
yes,
who is a Democrat, a rabid socialist Democrat. And these people are, probably in the past weren't Trump supporters. I wouldn't think, right? They don't know your typical Trump supporter. But this is.
Look who they voted into office.
I understand that, but watch this video and tell me
they had one of the worst mayors possible, and then
someone worse. You said it can't get any worse.
Yeah, but then they voted in someone worse.
Oh yeah, no question. But yeah, play this video and tell me
from Beetlejuice to this dude.
Watch this video.
The illegals, and that'll take your money right back.
You're a criminal. Why do I got to address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you because you're going to protect the undocumented while you're going to allow for the citizens in Chicago to suffer.
Y'all, come on. You leave that loser where he is. He's a loser. He's a loser.
Powerful.
Well, yeah. But again, they've got to look, and
I understand they have to look in the mirror, and they voted for this guy.
They're the ones who
at
keep
the end of the
voting
day,
these numbnuts in.
You keep saying, is someone gonna wake up? When will they wake up? I think they're kind of waking up a little bit.
Oh yeah, and that's not the first city council meeting that I've seen where people are just lashing out. They're like, "What are you doing?"
Well, I mean, what's going on in Chicago is crazy, and Chicago's a dump for all intents and purposes. It's violent. I wouldn't go out downtown there, but they're seeing their resources spent on people that shouldn't be here, and while they're citizens who theoretically paid taxes, I mean, they should be. The programs are for them, not for. Yeah, David J. Ray makes a good point. Detroit is getting better because everyone left. I mean, they haven't left Chicago yet, but it is. I think the people, like I said, I think they're waking up, and so we'll see what these mayors. That's another mayor that said in a state where the governor as well said he won't cooperate with Trump. Well, then there go your federal funds, as far as I'm concerned. As far as Donald Trump's concerned.
Yeah, you
that's
get
how
nothing.
It works.
You get nothing.
And earlier, I was going to say earlier this summer in Chicago, the people got all bent out of shape, and this is what really pissed off a lot of people, was when they took a community rec center and shut it down.
Yeah.
And look, people in that community, they use that rec center every day.
Right.
I mean, they've got resources there. They've got a gym. They've got a pool. They got all this stuff, and they shut it down. Yeah, you can't come in. We got we're housing a bunch of illegals in here.
Yeah.
I mean, can you think of a better way to piss people off and tell them
they
can't?
That's a perfect example of like we talked about, and the theme I'm going to keep pounding home. Elections have consequences. There are no free rides anymore. There are no free lunches. We have to people have to hold their elected representatives accountable. And Donald Trump ran on a platform, got an overwhelming mandate to enact that platform, and he's going ahead. I am concerned about the direction the Senate seems to be taking. I heard Mitch McConnell say something the other day, but I got to be honest with you, I couldn't understand what the hell he said. He was
Mitch McConnell should have been gone a long time ago. And for him to suggest that there's not going to be any recess appointments.
That's what I was talking about.
How can he do that? Last I checked, he's not the leader anymore.
Well, I think he's pushing.
He's still a powerful member of the Senate,
right.
But he doesn't call the shots anymore.
Did you see that presser? I mean, it was almost like McConnell couldn't speak. The aide was saying most of the stuff, most of his comments. And I was like, why are we
help a brother out?
Why are we electing? Why do we keep electing these people? They overstay their welcome. There's nothing magic in them that they have to stay there. Like, for example, I heard Nancy Pelosi she's filing paperwork to run again, and she's like 90, like 96.
She's like fucking Yoda. Fucking Yoda fucking just.
Did Yoda have Botox?
That's why he looks so good.
Yes.
Run again, I will. Fucking, what a fucking moron.
Botox. Nice. So anyway, yeah, man.
I mean, she literally looks like a walking mummy.
Listen, so I don't know if you guys heard, and I know we didn't really talk about this much, but I've heard some people lament, a word I don't use often, but they're like, oh, Trump's, he's upsetting me because he's putting, Elon's not really a conservative, and Tulsi's not a conservative, and he's putting these people in positions in his administration, and I'm really upset with him. And I'm like, you could be waking up today, and Kamala Harris could be your president-elect.
Oh my God!
You better get down on your knees and thank God that Donald Trump won that.
I'll say it again. I mean, we dodged a bullet.
Right.
Yes. A huge,
and so
huge bullet.
Donald Trump may not, do everything that you want, but you still better thank God that he's your president-elect and not Kamala Harris. And if I don't hear her cackle again anytime soon,
right,
it'll be too soon.
Well, and the best part about it is the fact that he knows he's only got 4 years, right? So he's going to come in, clean house, do shit, get some things taken care of, and we hope, and then it's hit the ground running, because after that 4 years, there are so many different possibilities and options as to where our government goes,
where the party goes too.
Yes, and where the party goes.
Yeah, and
but he doesn't care. He's not worried about getting reelected. He's coming in. He's gonna fix shit. He's gonna fix the stuff that he was already working on. Really go 5 steps forward, 8 steps back, fix the shit, and then leave it off to somebody else.
I heard Vivek was on Sean Hannity today, and he was saying how they were talking about Doge, and he's like, look, we've got a year and a half because we want to be done by July 2026, which is the 200 and whatever anniversary of the country.
I think it's 250.
Yeah, 250. Yeah. And I didn't want to do the math, but thanks, Dan. I
was gonna say you were around for the 150, weren't you?
Nice,
yeah,
nice,
great.
But so I mean, I'm excited about that. We have finally a I guess a government entity, or at least more than a task force, more than a think tank. We have a government, at least department, that's not getting paid, going to do it for free, which is fine by me. I don't think that Musk needs the money. I'm pretty sure Vivek doesn't.
They don't need the money.
And they're going to go in and I've seen some of their tweets are hilarious. I mean, they are just they're sparing, no one's safe, and I'm happy about it. I think it's long overdue, and I'm looking forward to it.
So I have this that you sent me, Andrew. I just got to find it.
God, I feel like I'm monopolying the mail.
Well, you actually gave me some stuff.
Dan's so pissed right now.
No, what am I pissed about?
Doge shares obscene examples of government waste, nearly 1 million, to see if cocaine makes Japanese quail more sexually promiscuous.
For God's sake.
Can you imagine that?
I mean, we spend money on that kind of bullshit all the time.
Can you imagine that?
And people look at this and they say, oh, well, $1 million for the federal government isn't anything.
$1 million here, $1 million there.
That's what I'm saying. And this is the kind of crap that we got to cut out. And then maybe someday we'll be able to get to the much bigger stuff. Did you see where the Pentagon just failed its seventh audit in a row? Yeah. They can't account for $840 billion worth of spending.
It's a rounding error.
But and put this in context, though. I mean, think about this. When you're doing your taxes and you're looking at your taxes and you're thinking,
and you're off even a little bit.
Yeah, let's say oh my God, I think I'm off maybe a couple of $100 here. Oh. Maybe $1,000. Oh my God.
You better bend over, buddy.
Yeah,
they're going to have a party somewhere.
That's exactly what you said yesterday.
But think about what that does to the individual. If their taxes, and they know their taxes aren't right, and for whatever reason they can't figure it out, they can't get an answer to it, and they send it in. I mean, they are going to be sweating bullets for months.
Oh yeah, they're
thinking that they're going to get audited. I mean, the shit's going to come crashing down.
They're going to have.
Here's the Pentagon
impacted.
They said we cannot do a proper accounting for whatever percentage of that money that it is.
7 years.
They're saying that we hope to have everything squared away by 2028.
Yes,
2028.
And I'm worried about the podcast stuff.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
2028.
Right.
How is that acceptable? Pete Hegseth is not going to find that acceptable.
No, and they're trying to.
Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are not going to find that acceptable.
That's right.
Donald Trump is not going to find that acceptable. And those are the people that are going to be able to go in and do something about it. I'm so tired of hearing all these people talk about, they don't have any government experience.
Good.
They don't have any. They haven't been part of the media industrial complex. I can't think of the word. The military
industrial complex. I was like, what?
But I'm just saying,
that's a whole other thing too.
But these are the people who got it so fucked up to begin with anyway.
So why would we give it back to them?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Get them in there.
Get them in there. Clean house.
They put out a help wanted sign, and someone asked Elon Musk, well, how much is it going to pay to work for the Department of Government Efficiency? He says it's not going to pay anything.
Nothing.
They're looking for volunteers,
right.
People that want to go in and clean house. They want to go in, get the job done. I'm reading an article right now where this guy is saying, do not create the Department of Government Efficiency, because he's talking about how it's going to become another big bureaucracy.
No, it doesn't.
We're going to have all these people running around all over the place.
Then he doesn't know.
But that's what I'm saying. The writer of this article is looking at this.
He's misinformed. They've given themselves a sunset.
Yeah.
They're only here for a year and a half, and then they go away.
They're going to go in.
So I don't know who wrote the article, but he might want to.
And they say they're calling it a department. It's really a committee, and we talked about this. And it's meant to self-destruct.
That's right.
Figure it out. Here's where your underlings are fucking up. Fix it. We're done. We're out.
No question.
Mic drop. Bye.
But see, people in Washington are so used to things not being done this way.
That's why it's a swamp. And that's why
they think they know the way everything is going to shake out, the way everything's going to
They
be
don't
done.
want anybody fucking meddling. It's like Scooby-Doo. Oh, you meddling kids. It's exactly what it is.
The funny thing is that's exactly why I when I go to DC, I get so sickened at times, because I'm still just amazed at all those people there. Honestly, that Donald Trump won the election. You know what I mean? I mean, that he not only was he running against the Democrat Party, who spent $1 billion, $1.5 billion, it wasn't enough, right? That she's in debt $20 million. That Oprah took not $1 million, $2.5 million.
2.5.
Yeah. Right. And then,
technically it went to Harpo Productions.
No, it went to Harpo. I get that.
It didn't go.
I get
to
that.
her.
But at first they were like, "It's $1 million." She's like, "Oh, they didn't pay me $1 million," which I understand that. It went to Harpo, but it wasn't $1 million. It was $2.5 million. And then not only was he fighting Democrats, he was fighting the media, and media types like Mika Brzezinski and what's his face that went
Joe Scarborough
that went down there and tried to bootlick him. Right after they've been assholes to him. And I love Megyn Kelly's. I sent you. Megyn Kelly had a perfect response to those two.
Yeah, if you have that, I would love for you to
sent it to Jason, but I sent it late, so he probably doesn't have it pulled up yet.
If you were the Trumpster and you got that note from Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski that we want to come down and we want to talk. After
everything,
I hope they literally groveled on the floor. They spent 3, 4, 5, 6 years calling this guy Satan, calling him Hitler,
right?
Calling him Mussolini,
right? So this is what I would have told them, and Jason has it now because he's awesome and he's very fast.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask you what you would have said.
This is what I would have said. She says it so much
this
better.
morning.
Megyn Kelly's awesome.
It's the dawn of a new day. Glenn, let's watch.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years. What we did agree on was to restart communications. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful. He was upbeat. He seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues.
It's time for a new approach. We're not here to defend or normalize Donald Trump. We're here to report on him.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase, go fuck yourselves.
It doesn't get any better than that. But that flows in.
This is why I love podcasts.
Megyn Kelly.
She couldn't say that on Fox News.
Awesome. She's so awesome. And she says it so well.
But I mean, look at her arc as it relates to Donald Trump. It was one of his first debates,
right?
And then and then of course she had she challenged him on the debate stage. It didn't go well, and then he went in an interview a couple of days later. He says, "Oh, blood was coming out of her, coming out of her eyes and ears or whatever," and so that kind of set off this whole thing between him and Megyn Kelly,
right?
And then you fast forward to this past election cycle, and she's on stage at a campaign rally saying, "I support Donald Trump."
Yeah, and she did it every show too.
Yeah.
So here's where these fucking pigs that we know as The View fall into this.
God's sake.
I think there's a lot of people who are probably looking at what Joe and Mika did and find it opportunistic. There are people who change their stripes, or maybe their spots, I should say, today, depending on who is in power and what benefits them. I don't know that that's what they are doing. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's a to be determined situation, because right now it's the transition. We don't know what he's going to do as president. We don't know what they're going to do if he commits abuses of power as president. So, everybody has to live with their decision. Everybody has to look at themselves in the mirror. I'm good.
The bottom line is that America needs a free press that is willing to speak truth to power right now, more than ever.
Now, wait. I want you to understand it. Now we do.
We have to be
Past
very
4 years,
wide
we didn't need
when
anything.
we
Past 4 years, it was great, right?
And cover the president-elect. And I don't think you need to sit down.
That's why,
for 90 minutes.
And I'm not going to show any more of these fucking clowns.
Well,
but
you said it right the first time.
Pigs.
No, thank you.
But it's just so funny after that. Like, we had a cheerful conversation, blah, blah, blah. Because all these people are going to want access in, whether it's CNN, NBC, MSNBC, whatever is outside of Fox, and the Republican right leaning, everybody's going to want to be in there,
right?
So now everybody backsteps as they motherfucked him the whole 4 years that Biden was in, and Biden was the Messiah,
and when he was in too.
Yes, and they still. And
the funny thing a bit about those two clowns is they beforehand,
it's the biggest fucking clown
way
show
back
I've ever
in the
seen.
day, those two clowns were like all over, but they loved Trump.
Oh,
they used to love Trump, and then
they filleted him at every opportunity.
Yes,
I mean every opportunity
they did.
It was a group effort.
Here, I'm gonna do a quick ad read real quick, because we as you guys just sit there and
just pulled that out of your hat. You can't hit me like
you guys are like the two Muppets.
But now they're out there trying to claim the moral high ground, like, oh, we recognize that this is very important for the American people.
I think her response was perfect, and I love the fact
yes,
that they're
go
getting
fuck
shit,
yourself.
and they're getting shit from now all the liberals. But the reason why is their ratings have gone even lower.
Their ratings,
I mean, they are for sale. Yes. CNN is for sale, or Morning Joe is for sale. I mean, they suck.
Yeah.
So that's going to roll right into our ad read here.
Well, no, it's not going to roll right in, because you two just fucked it all up.
Well, he said filleted, and I was. It's a word you don't hear in everyday language, and I go, I think he means.
You guys are fucking retarded.
I'm trying.
Does he mean what I think he means? I was like,
trying to raise the level of the conversation.
That was a good word. Would you have a calendar of the day? You got a word of the day calendar? Filleted.
I have an expansive vocabulary.
Dear future Dan.
I'm not saying I know every word out there.
Nice to pull it back in. I like it. No, our buddy Rick Barrick has been nice enough to sponsor the show with Cross Country Mortgage, and he just got me this today, which I was super excited about, because I've been asking for probably 3 months
Just a few words,
but just
about Rick Barrick and company.
And then we're going to change it up. We're going to give it to Dan. He's going to rework it. But this is what Rick gave us today, and we appreciate his support, though. But with over 26 years in the mortgage industry and more than 4,700 successful transactions, Rick is your go-to expert for all your home financing needs. Whether you're purchasing a new home, refinancing, or seeking a low-interest home equity line or credit to consolidate, debt or renovate, Rick offers a wide range of options tailored to your unique situation. Jesus Christ. I told him, he was like,
it's going to be rough.
Chat GPT. Got it. I said, I'm going to give it to Dan. But we got it anyway, nonetheless. As part of Cross Country Mortgage, the second largest mortgage company in America, we provide solutions to every borrower, including those who are self-employed, investors, or have lower credit scores. Even if you face challenges in obtaining a loan before, Rick is dedicated to reviewing your circumstances and putting you on the right path to qualification. We'll contact Rick, and you see it all on the screen, and it's 513-383-2923, rick.barrick@ccm.com.
NMLS 18738.
Nailed it.
Boom.
I think it's a requirement that you have to read that.
I think you're right.
That number. NMLS.
I don't know what it is.
National Mortgage Lending Service.
Wow.
I think.
You are so smart.
Think.
You are so smart.
I think that's what that stands for.
I don't know.
I'll have to
did
look
we did we get it? I mean, I know we talked about it, but did we get a chance? Did we show Mike Tyson's butt?
No.
I mean, are we not going to show Mike Tyson?
No, we're probably not going to show Mike
Tyson.
Tyson.
Filleted. I think we could show Mike Tyson.
We didn't show a picture of Nancy Grace either. I know. I would much rather see her, wouldn't you?
But I was impressed. The guy's ripped.
Here's the thing with Netflix, though.
Oh yeah, they're going to do a halftime show. I heard for a football game. They want you to watch this only on Netflix.
Oh, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, Texans game. They're going to have it. They're going to have a. You know how Amazon is broadcasting games now?
Yes.
So Netflix is going to try that with a football game. I think after the fight, how many engineers you think were fired the next day?
I don't know, but they've got. I think they've got some football games on Netflix does on Thanksgiving, and I think
it's Christmas.
I read they have an NFL doubleheader on Christmas Day.
Well,
can you imagine if they have the same kind of streaming issues?
Oh, dude, it was
and technical glitches with NFL football when those are the only games on.
I love buffering. That's so much fun when you're watching
on Christmas Day, and
you're
going to have the entire nation. Way more than people didn't watch, I think, the Mike Tyson fight.
We call it the spinny wheel of death.
Yeah. Spinny wheel of death. It's funny because I mean, could you imagine? I mean, so they're doing all this and they said they were sorry and blah 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 blah. But I mean, could you imagine being one of their engineers and you're like so hyped up, they're all high-fiving each other, and then the thing starts and it's like it just keeps spinning.
And then you realize, oh shit, we outkicked our coverage. We are not set up for this.
No,
you fuck clowns.
Now they're going to have. I saw they're going to have it. I think it's the Texans game. They're going to have a special halftime performance by Beyonce that I will not be watching.
Nope,
not interested.
Nope.
Guess what? It won't buffer at all because everybody's got to turn their shit off and nobody's fucking streaming it.
I wonder who pays better, the NFL or Kamala Harris.
Well, she didn't have to sing at Kamala Harris's.
You know, the NFL doesn't pay the performers who show up at the Super Bowl halftime.
Really?
They don't get paid. You believe that?
It's a team.
So it's just it the
teams?
You're saying they get no compensation?
I mean, they
or the NFL doesn't pay them.
I don't. The NFL doesn't pay them.
Maybe the network carrying the game pays them.
Maybe I don't know.
That has to be where that money's coming from. They're not coming in and doing it for fucking free. We know this.
Nobody does
I've read
for
that.
Free. I mean,
exactly.
Remember the one? What was the lady that was hanging from that they brought her down? And
look, you didn't do this for free. I have to deal with you.
I did that for free. I created that with my hands.
But I have to listen to it. So that's not free, bud. That's just
financially it's free.
A laser printer is not the same as hands.
Well, my hands were on the mouse that was directing the laser. So fuck off. It was virtually my hands were there.
Yeah, I want to play.
Can you do
it? It's not like you sat there and carved it with a sharpened tool out of a piece of plastic.
Can you do it?
Fuck no, he can't. He can barely turn his computer
on. Yes
on.
or no question.
No, I do not have. I do not know how to run a 3D printer.
And fuck off.
Exactly.
Like Megyn Kelly says, fuck off.
I'm playing this video real quick because I think this is absolutely.
Well, you want me to whittle one out of a piece of wood? I might be able to do that.
Absolutely hysterical.
Awesome.
That is a dance craze that is sweeping the nation, and
college, professional, everywhere.
Soccer.
There's professional golfers that are doing it.
So I heard they had Brett Favre on or interview today, and he says that he hopes that the NFL does not crack down on this.
Why?
Well,
I mean,
because they don't like it. They don't.
Well, I understand they don't like it, but yeah, why should you? Because you could do all different kinds of celebrations. So why is that one now all of a sudden going to be discriminated?
Because it's political.
If they crack down on that,
but
how are they going to square that with the whole Colin Kaepernick thing?
Yeah, like you could do, like you have the freedom to take a knee.
Yeah, and again, you bring up political. There you go.
Great point.
What?
So, no, he's a great point.
I'm saying it's and they had the
They've
power.
set the bar.
Because the NFL has written guidelines. You can go look them up for yourself about what players will and will not do during the playing of the national anthem. And so Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee during the national anthem. If they wanted to enforce those guidelines that every player, every person on that field is supposed to adhere to, they could have enforced it, and they chose not to.
Right.
So, I don't know how they're going to come out with some kind of double speak here.
Well, it's not going to end well. It won't end well for them.
No, it won't.
It won't end well for them.
Because I won't be the only one bringing up this point. So here's the other thing. And this goes back to what we were talking about, and I know we're short on time here. So I'm going to say one more and I'm out of here. But
we went over last time. We can go over a little bit.
But it's the same thing, I think, that when you had states like Texas that was trying to enforce its own state laws as it relates to illegal immigration.
Sure.
What happened? You had the federal government come in and sue them,
right,
saying you can't do that. Why? Because that's the province of the federal government.
Right.
So now you have people like Pritzker in Illinois, and you have all these other mayors and city councils and things like that saying they are not going to cooperate with the federal government. So, and what are they going to do? They're going to sue for their right to be able to do that.
That's right.
Well, I thought you can't have it both ways.
That's right.
I thought on one hand, you can't build your own border fence because that's the federal government's job. You can't arrest illegals if you're a local sheriff's office because that's the federal government's job.
That's right.
So you can't sit there and tell me that, we're going to block the federal government from enforcing their own rules. To me, that's two sides of the same coin.
I'm watching breaking news now. I'm watching President Trump 3 minutes ago is watching Elon Musk launch Starship One from South Texas.
Oh, is that live right there?
That's live.
Live video.
Spaceship, Starship. And it's pretty
and then the
cool.
rocket's going to come back down and they're going to
I don't know what the hell it's going to do.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's supposed to do.
Theoretically, they're supposed to do that, right?
Theoretically, yes.
That's how it's drawn up on the board. Anyway, amazing stuff. But the president's down in Texas. Man, the guy never stops.
No, he moves.
He's the Energizer Bunny. I'm tired, and I'm not even him.
How about the picture of them after the fight?
Oh, dude.
Oh, the guy giving
on
him
the airplane.
With the McDonald's?
And they're all sitting around.
Well, that was on their way there. That was on their way there.
Yeah, but
then you got that picture of Kennedy getting ready to crush some McDonald's.
Oh yeah, but he looks like he's about to hurl. He looks like he's just like, oh shit.
That was Donald Trump Jr.'s Instagram, and he goes, "Make America Healthy Again starts tomorrow" in all caps. But that was on their way into New York to go to to the show.
That picture right there. Look at Kennedy. He looks like he just wants to vomit.
I think he's. And I zoomed in. Jill was like, "What's he eating?"
I think it's a fillet of fish, isn't it?
No, I think it's the fucking stupid ass chicken Big Mac.
McRib?
Chicken Big Mac.
I had one of those. And they're not good.
It's fucking terrible.
They're not good.
Fucking terrible.
Somebody made a comment that they ate one of those and it wrecked their intestines. It just wrecked them.
I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
You're
either.
getting
I agree with you.
The chicken patty had all the appeal of wet cardboard.
It was not good.
It was not good. It could have been wet cardboard for all I know. It was terrible.
And Donald Trump Jr. had his kid in the cockpit of the plane as they're landing, and was like, "Dude, this is so cool. This is so cool." He's like, "Yeah, we're heading to UFC." So I think that was all in the back while they were fucking eating, but the video that they were showing as they're landing, and you're seeing the cockpit of Trump Force One, very, very cool. And his kid Donald Trump Jr.'s kid was like, "This is amazing." You know what? You've got an amazing life, you little fucker.
Yeah, it must be tough, right?
You little fucker.
Hey, listen, you know what? The thing I like about the Trump kids, I mean, let's look at. I mean, and I know the show's wrapping up, but compared to the Biden kid, all right.
Oh,
I mean, the Trump kids at least are productive. They work. They run businesses. You know who you didn't see, and maybe we'll talk about this a different show for sure, in depth.
Oh, that actually might not be a bad idea.
We haven't seen Ivana at all this election cycle. I mean, not at all. Now, I know she has young kids, so maybe she just decided. Ivanka. Yeah, I said Ivana. I'm pretty close. I think she probably decided the last time she was front and center. This time, not at all. So I think she's probably said, "Hey, listen, I'm raising my family. I don't want them in this circus," and that, respect that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something to look into.
Potential. Yeah, potentially.
I mean, she's also sharp as a tack.
Sure
that or is she going to be quiet for 4 years and then make a run?
Look,
her and Jared have their, they've got their plate full of all kinds of other shit. So.
Right. And listen, I'll be the first one to say I'm not a big fan of political family dynasties, so I'm not gonna just say, "Oh, okay, she should run." I'm not
saying that. I'm just saying
potentially, but they're also talking about maybe his daughter-in-law may be appointed to the vacancy in Florida.
Yeah, she might get a Senate seat, which I think.
And she's sharp. She's done a great job with the RNC.
God, I kind of wish she would stay there. But I think Michael Watley's got the right idea when it comes to running the RNC.
God, remember when that all happened? I was at that meeting. Remember, I called you. Did a report.
Yeah.
Remember when that all went down? That was down in Houston.
Did you make an appearance on my radio show that night?
I did. I called you. Yeah. I called in from H Town down in the lobby.
That's how groundbreaking it was, Andrew. He doesn't even remember.
It was a great show.
I remembered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You asked a question.
Yeah. Were you on the air that night?
You asked a question.
I was on the air that night.
Hey, we got a special episode tomorrow night, a live episode
maybe you're on my show a little too often.
I'm going to mute your mic. Oh, about. This is just like old school. This is just like old school times.
I could say something.
We got a special live episode for at Garage Golf. Our buddy Blake Williams' place. I can't
hear myself.
Yeah, it's weird.
Are we both off? Did I get nuked too?
Yeah, neither one of you are showing up.
Wow.
Well, he's going to be on the radio, and
that blows.
I didn't think you would want to be there. So,
when?
Tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, I'll go by.
Show up.
Can I hit the golf ball?
You can hit as many golf balls as you want,
as hard as I want.
Actually, no, you won't be able to because there's a league going on. So, you can just be there.
I can't go hit a golf ball.
Nope.
Do you win anything for hitting it as hard as humanly possible? Is there like hardest hit of the golf ball?
Anyway. Live episode tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with our
someone in the league, and they'll say,
"Shut
Andrew,
the
come
fuck
over
up." See, this is how that works. Is I just mute mics and I just say what I need to say. These two are like two fucking children in preschool. But yeah, tomorrow Garage Golf. We've got our buddy Will Chickering and Blake Williams, the owner of Garage Golf, and Will has Slickest golf apparel, so we're gonna have him on. But special episode outside of the studio.
6 or 7.
So we appreciate you. 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern for the elderly that are in the room.
And that's on Club Pipe.
And we appreciate you.
That's on my caramel Tabasco Club.